Hi again, everybody. Hope you're all doing well out there, staying healthy, staying sane, getting all your schoolwork done, maybe some practicing if you want. Tonight, I wanted to talk to you about how to tune your instruments because I know it's been a while since you've seen a teacher, so I bet these instruments are needing a little bit of love in the tuning department. So I'm going to talk you through it. I know you've probably all had some form of instruction on tuning at some point, but I just wanted to cover it with you in case you're feeling a little rusty in that department and your instrument might be pretty out of tune. So for this, you are not going to need your bow until a little bit later. So just set it to the side, have it ready. Obviously my instrument here is a violin. I'm going to be talking a lot about the specifics of a violin, but you can apply the same ideas and techniques to the cello. You just have to change the names of the strings. Okay? Speaking of names of the strings, let's talk about them. I know, very basic. Everybody knows the names of the strings. Just humor me. Let's talk it through, okay? The bottom on the violin is G, right? The next one is D, A, and the top is E. Cellos, you start on the bottom with C, the next is G, followed by D, and the top is A. I know you guys know this, we're just reviewing. There are two ways that you can tune your instrument. There are more than two ways, but there are two sets of things that you can use to tune your instrument. The first and easiest, I would say, is down here on your tailpiece. You will find your 4 fine tuners, one for each string. I have a full-size instrument that's pretty fancy. You might be able to see I really only have one fine tuner. When you get a full size, for the most part, you really only need one fine tuner, and it's always the top string, whether it's E or A. If you have a smaller instrument and you're just learning to tune, you have all 4 fine tuners. And again, that's going to be the easiest way to tune your instrument. I'm not going to talk about it too much tonight. I'm just going to touch on it a tiny bit. I'm mostly going to be focusing on talking you through how to use the pegs in case your instrument is really out of tune. If it's only a little out of tune, the fine tuners are definitely the best way to go because it's just simple. Go a little bit at a time, little turn, boom, you're ready to go. Don't forget that you always want to match the string that you are tuning with the tuner that you are turning. Because if you're, for instance, trying to tune the D string, but you have accidentally landed with your hand on the A string tuner, you're just going to be frustrated and your A string's going to be way out of tune. So make sure you're matching always your tuner that you're actually turning with the string that it's attached to. Again, I know you guys know this, just going over it. To turn clockwise or to the right will raise the pitch, and to turn counterclockwise or to the left will lower the pitch. I would always recommend that you just go a little bit of a turn at a time. Never crank and crank and crank, no matter how out of tune you think it is. You'll go way shooting past the mark, and that's frustrating. And also it does run the risk of breaking your string, depending on how old your strings are. So just little bits at a time. Be patient. What else do you have to do? Okay, a little bit. That's pretty much all I'm gonna say about the fine tuners. You guys are very smart people. You can sort of go figure that out on your own if you haven't already. So we're gonna talk about the most today are the pegs, which are these 4 guys up here. And I know you guys know this because you have instruments, but on the inside, each one of these pegs has a string wrapped around it. Cellos, the best way for you to tune your cello is going to be putting it on its back on a soft surface. So your bed or the couch or a rug, something that is not the hard floor. Just lay it on that surface I would say you're gonna wanna brace it with a hand so that it's not, shifting around while you're tuning. And then whatever hand, your right hand for the right side of the instrument, your left hand for the left side, that's how you're gonna wanna sort of hold on to your instrument while you're tuning. For violins, you're gonna sit down. I'm gonna turn a little bit this way. I know it's gonna be a little awkward for the video, but at least you can see my instrument. Okay, you're gonna brace it right on your knee like this. And your left hand, we're gonna start by tuning the A string tonight. So with your left hand holding on to the instrument like so, just nice and sturdy, no way that's gonna slip kind of a thing. You're gonna use your thumb to pluck the string that you're going to tune. So we're gonna use, for this, we're gonna be on the A string. Okay, and with the other hand, you'll be using to actually manipulate the peg, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and lower this for the sake of the video because it's already in tune. But I'm gonna lower it so that we have something to work with. I'm going to include a link to the tuning app that I use the most. It's very easy, very simple to figure out. You play a note, the tuner tells you if it is in tune. If it is not in tune, it will either lean to the left to tell you that the note is too low, or it will lean to the right to tell you that the note is too high. When it is in tune, it stands straight up in the middle, okay? So I'm gonna include a link, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's very easy to figure out. I'm using my phone to record this video, which means I don't have that app. And so tonight I'm gonna be using my piano, which is right here underneath the camera. You can't see it, but it's here. And I'm gonna play the A on my keyboard. There's A, okay? So I'm gonna try and figure out if my A matches the piano A. Definitely doesn't match. Now, the next thing I have to figure out is, do I have to raise the string or lower the string to be in tune? If you have a tuner, it's gonna tell you anyway. So I would say for sure, try to use a tuner. You can do it on your phone, tablet, what have you, okay? So I'm gonna say, I need to raise this A. It is too low. So what I'm gonna do is take the peg, still holding on with my left hand. I'm gonna take the peg, and the first thing I'm gonna do is lower it. I'm gonna turn it toward me, which seems a little bit silly since I'm supposed to be raising the string, raising the pitch. But in case the peg is stuck in there at all, this helps to loosen it a little bit so that I'm not cranking super hard and jerking the string when it releases. So I'm gonna lower it just a little, and I'm gonna use my thumb to keep plucking so I can hear the pitch changing as I go. Now that I've loosened the peg, I went down a little bit, I'm gonna very slowly, very little bit at a time, raise it, pluck, I'm gonna check it with my A on the piano. Voila. Now, some of you may have pegs that are pretty sticky and not super easy to turn. The more you tune with the peg, the smoother the mechanic of it will be. However, at first you may need to really try to lower as far as you can. Be careful not to loosen the string so much that it falls out. That would be the only thing I would be careful of. Just lower it until it starts to feel looser, not the string, but the peg, okay? The peg is really jammed in there. And then as you turn it back up, you're going to need to press the peg a little bit with very gentle pressure, press it into the peg box. So you're probably gonna need your left hand to add a little counter pressure. You're not gonna break your instrument if you're going nice and slow and not jamming too hard. Just a little bit of pressure from both hands to sort of put the peg back into the peg hole, which is obviously where the peg comes out of. You're gonna wanna make sure that you're just applying enough pressure for that to stick back in. All right, now I'm also going to do the D string because I just want to show you an example from both sides of the instrument. So I'm going to lower it first. Now, all I'm going to do is switch hands. So now my right hand is going to go on the instrument and my left is going to be what turns the peg. So again, I'm going to use my thumb on my right hand to pluck the string, which we can already tell does not sound like a D, but here's what D should sound like. There's D. Now here's what my D sounds like. Obviously very low and it really needs to go up. So I'm going to use my thumb again and I'm going to turn it down to loosen the peg a little bit, just a little. And then I'm going to start just slowly I think that's pretty close. Could still go a little way. So again, I'm going to turn it down first until I think I'm there. And there we are. Okay. So that's pretty much all I'm going to talk about tonight. If you have any questions, as always, please reach out to us. I will answer whatever I can. Or I can try to make another quick video so that you guys get even more clarification on that. Don't forget to check to make sure you know which string is attached to which peg, because just like I talked about with the fine tuners, that would be very frustrating if you were turning the wrong peg for the string that you're trying to tune. All right. Okay, guys, that's all for this evening. I will see you next time. Stay safe. I miss you. I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to wash your hands.